Whenever AI comes up, we just love talking about the brilliant algorithms, right? The futuristic neural networks. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're going to look at the real, unsung hero of this entire field, the crucial, kind of hidden work that actually makes it all possible. So let's dive in and meet this unsung hero of AI. Okay, first things first, just look at this. This is what raw data often looks like. It's chaotic, it's jumbled, it's full of weird outliers. So I've got a really simple question for you. Would you trust an AI that was built on a foundation like this? Yeah, I'm guessing your answer is a hard no. And that single problem is what this whole thing is about. So let's meet the person whose job it is to tackle this mess. Before any AI can even start to learn, a data scientist has to step in and basically play the role of a data janitor. Trust me, it's not glamorous, but it is, without a doubt, one of the most important jobs in the entire process. See, here's the fundamental truth of it all. Real-world data is never, ever clean. It comes to us with pieces missing, so it's incomplete. It's full of errors and junk, so it's noisy. And it's totally inconsistent from one part to the next. You just can't feed this raw stuff into a fancy algorithm and hope for magic to happen. It doesn't work that way. And that leads us right into the first and most critical job for our data janitor, cleaning the data. This is all about taking that initial chaos we saw and starting to create some kind of order. So let me put you in their shoes for a second. You've got a record, a single row of data, but a really important piece of info is just gone. What do? Do you just toss the whole thing out? Or do you try to guess what's missing? Well, you've really got two main paths you can take. The first one, the easy way, is to just discard it. Get rid of it. It's fast, sure, but it's super risky. And that risk is way bigger than you might think. I mean, look at that stat. In some fields, a staggering 90% of records can have missing data. If you throw all of those out, you've got nothing left. And that's why the smarter move is to substitute, to make a really good, educated guess to fill in the blanks. So how do we make that guess? Well, a common first step, kind of the simple fix, is to just plug in the average value from all the other records. It's quick, and it doesn't really mess up your overall numbers. But a much more sophisticated way to do it is to find its nearest neighbor. That's the most similar complete record you have, and you just borrow its value. It's a much more tailored and usually much better guess. Okay, so once our data is complete, we run into a whole new challenge. Our different data points might be on wildly different scales. Think about it. You could have someone's age in years and their income in thousands of dollars. One number is small, the other's huge. We need some way to make fair comparisons between them. And the solution to this problem has a name: normalization. All this means is it's the process of putting all of your data onto the same scale. This is absolutely crucial because it stops a feature with giant numbers, like income, from totally overpowering a feature with small numbers, like age, when the AI is trying to learn. It just levels the playing field for everybody. Now, you're going to see formulas like this one. It's called min-max scaling. And I know, it looks a little intimidating, but seriously, don't worry about the math. The goal here is incredibly simple. It takes every single number in your data set, no matter how big or small, and it neatly squishes it into a value that's somewhere between 0 and 1. That's all it does. And here's another popular method: z-score standardization. Again, forget the formula for a second and just focus on what it does. This technique rescales all your data so that the new average value is exactly 0. So you see, the methods are different, but the goal is the same: create a common standard so that AI can actually make fair comparisons. All right, so we've filled in the blanks, we've put everything on the same scale. We're done, right? Well, not so fast. Because, and this is going to sound a little weird, sometimes, after all that hard work, the secret to getting more clarity is to actually use less data. Just take a look at this. On the left, you've got a super detailed MRI scan with hundreds of different shades of gray. It's really complex. But now look at the right. That same data has been segmented. All those hundreds of shades have been simplified down into just a few clear categories: bone, muscle, fat. We've actually reduced the amount of data, but we've made it so much easier for an AI to understand what it's looking at. And that's so important because the amount of data we're dealing with these days is just mind-boggling. We're not talking about a spreadsheet here. We're talking terabytes and terabytes of raw information. Trying to analyze every single bit of that can be slow, crazy expensive, or sometimes just flat out impossible. So, what's the move? We take a sample. It's just like how a pollster doesn't need to ask every single voter in a country to figure out an election. A data scientist can take a smaller, but still representative, sample of the data. This lets them work way faster and still get really reliable results. And there's another really cool trick called dimension reduction. Think about it like this. If you wanted to describe a car, you could list its length, its width, its height, and its wheelbase. Or you could just combine all those into a single, more meaningful feature and just call it size. That's basically what this does. It intelligently combines a bunch of features into fewer, more powerful ones, which cuts down the complexity but keeps the most important information. So let's bring this all home. All of these techniques we've talked about, the cleaning, the normalizing, the reducing, it all points to one of the oldest and most important principles in the entire world of computing. Garbage in, garbage out. It's really that simple. The quality of your AI, what it predicts, the insights it gives you, all of it depends 100% on the quality of the data you feed it. You can have the most brilliant algorithm in the world, but if you feed it messy, unprepared data, you will get garbage results. Every single time. So I'll leave you with this question. The next time you read a headline about some groundbreaking new AI, I want you to just pause and think for a second. Are you going to ask about its fancy algorithm? Or are you going to ask about the silent, the invisible, the absolutely essential work of pre-processing its data? Because now you know that's where the real magic actually begins.